So Jeremy, in honor of the new Mortal Kombat coming out, I thought we'd play the best Mortal Kombat.
Oh sweet, so we're playing Mortal Kombat 9?
No.
Mortal Kombat 1?
Mm-mm.
Shaolin Monks?
Mm-mm.
No, don't you do this to me. Don't you do this to me, man. No. No! No!
Warning, this review contains scenes of low-poly gore. Also lizardmen. The year was 1997, and as of October, the arcade version of Mortal Kombat 4 had just been released. Midway in the Mortal Kombat team were straying from the motion-captured 2D fighting games, and were branching out with brand new ideas. Ideas such as Mortal Kombat Mythology's Sub-Zero, which featured full motion video, and working with 3D models for the new edition in the main series, Mortal Kombat 4 and Mortal Kombat Special Forces,
which you needn't concern yourself with.
Mortal Kombat 4 was a new challenge for the team as it tackled the world of 3D, but co-creator Ed Boon promised us that this would be the goriest, most violent edition yet. Players would be treated to more detailed fights, 3D cutscenes as opposed to the old text box endings they were used to, and voice acting. It would be less than a year that the arcade version would be ported to both the N64 and the PS1. The story begins with Earthrealm Defender and Thunder God, Raiden, warning of a second coming of an evil godlike sorcerer Shinnok. A new addition that would stick throughout the Midway continuity and the newly founded Netherrealm continuity. Raiden claims that despite the looming threat, he is confident that now even mortals are capable of defending Earthrealm, clearly talking about Liu Kang and the others who have previously defended the realm. Familiar faces as well as new ones fill the roster in this tournament-based fighting frenzy. There are a lot of levels of difficulty and each one will have you facing more foes than the last. Each character doesn't have a beginning story, but does get a unique full 3D cutscene ending that can range anywhere from satisfying to absolutely abysmal. And trust me, we will get to that later. Mortal Kombat 4 retains its usual style of combat, which basically means flurries of punches and a few special moves here and there. But this time around we'd be seeing a few additions to the standard battle formula. For example, being able to fight in a 3D space. While not uncommon for this time in gaming, I did find much more use from this game in particular, as it made avoiding attacks that much easier. The excessive punches and moves in general were a little more balanced this time around, dealing far less damage than previous games. This would almost matter if not for the newest addition, weapons. Yes, whether each character's background saw them being proficient in weapon combat or not, literally everyone goes into this game with the ability to pull out some form of hammer, bow, or sword from their back pocket, not to mention throwable stage objects that just happen to be lying around at the time. This is where the game suffers from unbalance, as throwing this rock at your opponent becomes the better option than using any of your moves. Nailing your opponent with one of these projectiles can see them losing 23% of their health, and the game makes sure to tell you. And if you're one of the lucky characters that happens to have a blunt weapon, you can enjoy yourself as you smack your foe all across the map, watching as they fruitlessly try to defend themselves. It's actually really satisfying. But perfectly balanced gameplay has never really been the goal of Mortal Kombat. It's the interesting aspirations of all the warriors in their respective realms that they come from that keep us coming back. That and probably the over-the-top gore the game is notable for. Mortal Kombat 4 brings out an interesting array of endings for our special blend of fighters. Some of them satisfying, some of them disappointing, and some of them just kind of all over the place. For example of a good one, beating either Sub-Zero's or Scorpion's campaign gives their blood-smeared relationship a bit more closure, whereas one of my favorite characters, Reptile, totally gets the shaft after doing so much to restore his race. But despite how good or bad these endings might be, watching them play out is pretty entertaining in itself. More so because you get to watch the early attempts at 3D animation play out, and, well, just look at it.
But now I must return you to the Netherrealm. Never!
The war is over. I've once again defended my title as champion of Mortal Kombat and defended the realm of Earth, but I have failed to save the realm of Edenia. In doing so, I have also lost Katana. Forever.
I really can't get over how unenthused Liu Kang's voice actor sounds. He sounds like he is here just for the paycheck and may not know what Mortal Kombat actually is.
Katana, I can't believe it's you. Shao Kahn, I thought he defeated you and you were gone forever. And, hey, listen, there's like a Subway sandwich in there. Is it cool if I go take a break? I mean, this isn't even a script, it's just Pokemon cards. It's got like magic card though.
I always admire how much the Mortal Kombat team tries to flesh out its characters and at least tries to keep the story consistent. Even with the new NetherRealm continuity, they still try to keep all the plot points in place, despite dealing with the overly complicated story mechanic that is time travel. And Mortal Kombat 4 was no exception. I love the idea of Sub-Zero and Scorpion getting a little bit of closure, even if the cutscene does contain some inside shenanigans from the team.
Well, Lin Kuei warrior.
But I think I've waited long enough. There's no way to talk about a Mortal Kombat game without diving into the bread and butter that is the character fatalities. As I said before, Ed Boon really wanted to make these the most serious and goriest fatalities yet performed, and in some ways he succeeded. New fighter Quan Chi performs one of his most iconic fatalities, the tear off your opponent's leg and beat them with it technique. Jeez, this could use a little lightening up. The imaginations were hard at work with some of these fatalities, but to me at least they still contain that over-the-top silly feel to them. This coupled with some of the noises the fighters make really don't help to take these fights very seriously. Now sit back, relax, and immerse yourself in some of the most gruesome fatalities Mortal Kombat 4 has to offer. And remember to take them as seriously as possible.
And then you blow up.
Whether you love or hate this game, I guess it doesn't really matter, because this game was given pretty solid reviews and sold pretty well, and personally I think it's well deserved. Every game at this time had to make that leap into 3D, and I think the Mortal Kombat team was excited at the idea, and they made something truly solid. The fighting is fun and smooth, balancing was better, but as I've said, I don't feel it was ever the intention at the time. And did it stand the test of time? Sure as a fighter, but the cinematics and voice acting, not so much. Which is why I saved my favorite ending for last.
It's over, Jarek. Shinnok is dead. The good guys won. You're coming back with me.
Never, Sonya. I agreed to help defeat Shinnok, not turn myself into the Special Forces. The Black Dragon, live on!
The Black Dragon died with KANO. You're the last one, Jarek.
Never!
Come in, Major Briggs. This is Lieutenant Sonya Blade.
What?
Over.
Sonya, this is Major Briggs. Come in. Sonya, this is Jax. Are you there? Going somewhere, Jarek? Jax! I thought you were going to... Thought I was what, dead? Like my partner you just tossed off the cliff? I'm sorry, Jax. Please, don't drop me. Wait, I promise. Too late, Jarek. You can't drop me. You have to uphold the law. You have to arrest me. Wait, this is brutality. You can't do it. Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.
I always have to laugh at the outlandishness of that cutscene, and that's precisely what I love about Mortal Kombat, that it never takes itself too seriously. The team's humor has always been noticeable throughout every game, and in doing so it gives them more creative freedom. We know Sonya could come back at any moment, and she does, and even the characters themselves aren't restricted to their roles, which is hard to do well in a fighting game. The endings are my favorite part of Mortal Kombat because they usually show that no bad character has to remain that way, and not every good character is tied to their morals. It's something we see in the new continuity as well as the Midway continuity. Whether it be Scorpion's revenge and redemption, or even Jax murdering Jarek out of sheer malice he has for the Black Dragon, you never really know where the story is going to go next, and that's how you make an interesting story in the world of fighting games. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the video. How did you feel about Mortal Kombat 4? Not your style, or did you absolutely love it? Let me know down in the comments and be sure to like and subscribe if you'd love to see more. Gently tap that bell or Shao Kahn will come back. Again. And as always, keep it practical.